She doesn't want the simp's attention, or the weak man's attention, or the beta man's attention. She wants the alpha man's attention. This is an interesting point. So I'm looking up, and I'm online reading some things about females, and this woman posts a question, and she says, having a hard time not overanalyzing how my partner feels. He is a sweet man, but can be hard to read. He's not the most outspoken and comes off as stoic, closed off. He rarely compliments me or tells me how he feels for me, but I have to remind myself it's his actions that matter more. He's consistent and has made an effort to be in my life. Sometimes I just wish he would tell me he's proud of me or that he's happy to have me in his life without me asking how he feels. How can I communicate this to him without being needy? And do you think his inability to communicate his feelings is a red flag? Or is my need for validation just coming from an insecure place? To me, those things come naturally when I'm into someone, so it makes me question if he really is into me in the same way. Am I settling for the bare minimum here? This is a perfect quote or perfect question, because this totally, there's so much in here that I could go off of, because it shows so much about female nature, right? And I always say female nature is subtle. Female nature is very subtle in the sense that they don't tell you how they feel. Like, a lot of this really could just be fixed if she would just communicate. Women do not communicate. They expect men to just sort of know what to do, know how they're feeling, figure out what to do, and it's this weird crap that they do, and men just don't work that way. Men are not mind readers. I've said it for a million times. Men are not mind readers. We don't know what you want because you don't tell us what you want. Now, with that said, AWALT, right? AWALT, AWALT. All women are like that. Okay? You can't win in a way. Like, you really can't win with women in a way. It's just, they want two different things at the same time. They want two diametrically opposed things at the same time. So not only is she not communicating here, she wants, she's not communicating her feelings to him, and yet she's expecting him to know what she wants, right? Which is just classic female behavior, right? You know, oh, I don't want to eat, I want to go out to eat. Okay, honey, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go out to eat? I don't know. And then when you take her out to get pizza, she's like, you know what? I wanted tacos. Well, why didn't you tell me you wanted tacos? They can't communicate. It's very difficult for them. And it's like, why? It's like, just communicate. But I believe it has something to do with their nature, which is always trying to test men, always trying to look for weaknesses. This is what shit testing is, right? And believe me, don't think that shit testing is something that only happens when you're courting her, or that when you approach her and she throws out a shit test, right? No. Shit testing really never stops in a way. It really doesn't. I've dated girls for like 3+ years, and they were still shit testing me. And it's just this, it's fucked up. And this is why men really can't, this is why MGTOW is a great option. This is why the red pill is a great option, because you really can't win. Okay, so let me just break this down, what she's saying. She's saying, I have a hard time not overanalyzing how my partner feels. Again, if you would just communicate, if you would actually communicate with your partner, you wouldn't have to overanalyze. But she's not mature, right? She says, he is a sweet man. Well, that's an indication that he's kind of beta. She's choosing the beta, right? But he can be hard to read, so he's got a little bit of training, right? He's beta. He's a sweet man. He's not a hard-ass alpha, which is what she wants to fuck. So probably she's past her alpha fuck stage, and now she's in the beta buck stage, and this is why she would say he's a sweet man, right? She doesn't know her own nature. Because women just don't self-crit. They don't analyze themselves. They analyze men. Like, whenever you go to dating advice for women, whenever you go to any kind of dating channel for women, it's always how to read his mind, how to know what he's thinking, how do you know if he's cheating on you, how do you know if he's this. It's never like, work on yourself, learn how to communicate better, learn how to be a better woman. It's never anything like that. It's always about their man. It's always about the other guy. It's always about who they're dating. How can you read his intentions? And it's just this, it's cringy. It's like you don't even know the first thing. You have to look at yourself. You have to improve yourself. You have to communicate, okay? She says he's not the most outspoken and comes off as stoic, closed off. So the reason why he's like that is because he was trained to be like that. The reason why he's not communicative with you is because he was trained not to be that way. All right? Because when men are communicative with women, and I would say sometimes this training is actually subtle. Sometimes this training, he's just learned that even from his dad. A lot of men, they just kind of figure out how to be these kind of stoic, quiet, and even and I have a problem with that actually, because there's a lot of teaching out there that uplifts stoicism. I don't think stoicism is good for men, because I think men often suffer in silence. Okay, but he's been trained and he's learned how to not be predictable, because women don't like predictable. When a guy's predictable, she gets bored and she cheats. And this is why she's mad at her own, really she's mad at her own nature. She's mad at what women have created, right? You can't win. You cannot win. If he was more communicative, if he was more open, if he was less stoic, she wouldn't be attracted to him. She doesn't even realize that the reason why she's even with him is because of this. I would advise anybody to listen to Patrice O'Neal. He talks about this. He says, if you don't give a shit about a woman, she'll never leave you. If you don't care about her, she'll never leave you. Never, never, never. She'll never leave you. She'll chase you forever. If you don't care about her, if you could take her, leave her, she'll never leave you. And men have learned how to do this because it works. Okay. So she says he's consistent, has made an effort to be in my life. There you go. Actions. She says, but I have to remind myself it's his actions that matter more. So because he's not communicative, again, if he was communicative, she'd beta eyes him and she'd put him in the friend zone, even though they've probably dated for like 4 years or something. She'd friend zone him because that's beta. They say they want that, but when they actually get what they want, they don't like it. This is why you can't win. You can never win with a woman. So, actually he is winning in his own way. He's winning because she's still with him. But again, if he would do what she actually wants, she probably wouldn't be with him. She'd probably lose attraction for him. Because that's what it is. That's what always happens, right? Our experience in the past with our old girlfriends and women we were interested in tells us that it's a turnoff. It's a turnoff for most women when guys are communicative about our feelings. So we've learned how to be stoic. Women can't have it both ways. Most of the time, when men show interest in a woman, they dump us or feel like we're too needy. When you invest too much in her, she's like, oh, I must be the prize. Well, that's not right. He's supposed to be the prize. And then she leaves us, right? It's just like, that's what happens. So this is why he's like that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. She says, how can I communicate this to him without being needy? Men do not care if a woman is needy. In fact, we like when a woman is needy because it shows us, oh, she's not going to jump out of the relationship and go chase somebody else. This is such projection. That sentence is 100% projection. How can I communicate this to him without being needy? She thinks that being needy is bad because she doesn't like men who are needy. And that's why she won't communicate. But actually, communication is a cornerstone of any relationship. It's a foundation of any relationship. It should be. But when we communicate and we show our feelings, we are placed in that needy zone, and we get burnt for it. And this is why men do what they do. She says, do you think his inability to communicate his feelings is a red flag? No, that's what he's learned how to do. Or is my need for validation just coming from an insecure place? Listen, a woman should be validated in a sense in a relationship. Like idealistically, hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, idealistically, a woman should be validated in a relationship. The problem is when we do validate you, you take us for chumps. You take our feelings or our emotions or our validation for you as a place of neediness. You're the ones who judge men for being needy, not the other way around. Men do not judge women for being needy. In fact, we would like it if women were needy, because it's like, damn, she needs me. Like, damn, she's opening up to me in this way, and like that's awesome. Like, cool. I know where I stand with her, but yet women think, oh, I'm being needy, because it's projection. Because the truth is they don't want a man who's needy. So all this whole, it's a self-fulfilled prophecy. She set herself up here in this scenario. She chose a stoic man who's a sweet man, and his actions, so he's consistent, which is what she wants. So she's past the alpha fuck stage, because the alpha doesn't give a flying crap about her in any way. He won't be consistent in his actions or any of that, and that's what she's attracted to him at first. So she's definitely past her cock carousel riding days, and now she's in a long-term relationship with this guy, and because he's a sweet man, but he's hard to read and he's stoic, which is what she really liked about him. Okay, because women want the alpha and the beta mixed in at one at just different times. So now she's complaining because he's not totally beta. She's complaining because he's not totally a sweet man. He's kind of stoic. But again, men have learned that if we are needy, or I wouldn't say, I shouldn't use the word needy, if we are communicative of our feelings, and if we do validate women, they lose their attraction for us, which probably would happen in this scenario if he did start to validate her. Maybe. I mean, maybe what it is at this point, she's just like, okay, I've chased my alpha guys, now I need the validation from the beta. Maybe that's what she needs. Maybe. Okay. Which she could just communicate that to him, right? So really it's a self-fulfilled prophecy that, the woman will probably leave us, and this is what men have learned, whether it's through their parents or just genetically, because guys do pass down these traits. Some guys are just more naturally stoic than others, but a lot of what is out there in the manosphere is teaching guys how to be stoic, teaching guys how to not be needy with women, not be emotionally vulnerable to women, because what happens when we do that? We get dumped, we get taken for granted. She says, to me, those things come naturally when I'm into someone. Probably not, because you're making this post, so that's probably not true. So you really don't even know yourself and your own behavior, because again, women cannot self-crit. They cannot self-criticize. They cannot really objectively look at themselves outside of themselves, because they're solipsistic. It's just kind of the way they are. This is why women don't really need to improve, or they haven't evolved to improve in certain ways, because particularly when it comes to man-woman dynamics, because they just don't have to. Sex is all they need, right? But yet there's so many of them that are unhappy because they haven't evolved. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to really love a man for who he really is. It's always they're attracted to this alpha guy, this stoic guy. That she was attracted to that, believe it or not. So she's really just complaining about something that she was attracted to in the first place. Oh, he's sweet, but also he's got these kind of alpha traits where he's stoic. This is why in the manosphere they teach guys to be stoic, because it's kind of alpha to be stoic, right? Look at Clint Eastwood, look at all the, Arnold Schwarzenegger, look at all the tough guys, the super masculine guys in all the movies. They're stoic, right? They don't say much. They just, and look at the guys who are considered gay or considered feminine, right? They talk a lot. They express their feelings. They emote. Women don't like that, right? They don't like that, except, oh, now you're in a long-term relationship and now you want that. Now you want him to emote. Like, it's just like you want two things at one time. And men are just tired of it. So men have just said, okay, what works? Being stoic. What works? Not putting her on a pedestal. What works? Not being vulnerable emotionally to her. That works. So I'm going to do that. And it does work. And we get women, but yet they're still not happy because they don't know themselves. To me, those things come naturally when I'm into someone. So it makes me question if he really is into me in the same way. They've probably been dating for like 2 years, and she still doesn't even understand that. She doesn't even get it. Like, if he's with you, if he's spending time with you, if he's consistent, he's a sweet man, okay, his actions speak a lot, then yeah, he freaking likes you. Like, It's so obvious, but because he's not being vulnerable emotionally, she's questioning things. And what really she's self-sabotaging. She wants her cake and eat it too, and she can't have it, right? Am I settling for the bare minimum here? And that last sentence just killed me. Am I settling for the bare minimums? You want everything. Women want everything. They want it all. They want him to be stoic. They want him to be sweet. They want him to be consistent. They want him to have resources. They want him to be a breadwinner. They want him to create a lifestyle for them. They also want him to be communicative and vulnerable emotionally. Woo, woo, woo. Right. Everything. They want everything. Am I settling for the bare minimum here? Look, you want two different things. You want a strong man who's consistent, who leads with his actions, which you said you like that, but now he's not being emotionally available. He's not communicating his feelings to you, at least in the way that you want, right? And so she calls it the bare minimum. This is probably a pretty good dude. First of all, she says he's a sweet man. So how can he be a sweet man if he's not communicative, right? But anyway, as I said to start this video out, they want the alpha man, but then they want him to be beta, right? And it's like, you can't win. You can't win. So they're attracted to the alpha guy initially, but then they want him to communicate like a beta guy and bear his feelings, and you can't have both. If a man is not really that type of man initially, right? If he's a kind of stoic guy and yet he's kind of sweet or whatever, like, take what you can get. Like, he's, if he shows any more emotions, if he's any more sweet, I mean, how is he a sweet man if he's not communicative? If he's being sweet, that's him communicating his attraction to you. That's him communicating his feelings for you. But yet she wants him to be like super communicative, super outspoken, and like, well, this is what I like about you, woo, 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 this, that, and the third. And so she wants to feel validated. She doesn't feel validated because he's a stoic guy, yet he's also kind of sweet. Like, that's about as good as you can get. At least he's somewhat sweet and he's consistent in his actions, right? A lot of guys aren't. A lot of guys they're just not communicative. They don't communicate how they feel. And yet women flock to those kind of guys because that's what they really want. Their actions say a lot more than their words. So she hasn't left him. She's just suffering because she's a self-fulfilled prophecy. If it was really a problem, she would have left him. Maybe she's considering leaving him at this point, but I guarantee she's going to leave this guy, and she's not going to find anyone better. She's going to go out and she's going to find some beta guy, even more beta than this guy probably is, because he sounds a little beta as well, right? And then the new guy that she finds is going to be more sweet and more communicative in his emotions, and then she's not going to be attracted to that. She's gonna be like, damn, I missed that stoic guy. I missed the guy who didn't talk so much. It's just, you can't win, man. You can't win. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I appreciate you listening. Jay Lee Northwest Podcast. Peace.